So why don't we get started? Looks like everybody is going to be here, so we can just chat a little bit. Again, these are, coming from the news in the Roundtable, as Rana so poignantly pointed out. Again, the Roundtable is designed so that we can chat. So please do not be shy. Open up your mics and just engage with us. These come straight from newspapers. So again, these are not anybody's ideas. They're just talking points. So let's not get angry and have some fun. So, has anyone heard anything interesting in university news lately? Anything interesting? Apparently not.
UC Berkeley is
Hold that thought. We'll talk about that tonight.
Oh.
Right. But you're absolutely right, Alex. Very, very good. Right. So since everyone seems so shy and Alex is already ruining our lesson plan for tonight, why don't we just jump into it? All right. So can somebody read this header for me, this title? Someone read this for me.
I see you the slide.
Good, go ahead, Sean, since Alex just spoke.
Post-stamp drawn to get makeover for World University Games. Actually, I want to say that lately I said the news from the MIT, and there are nearby some shots. So the MIT just sent some email to the student and tell us there have their need student to keep safe because the Cambridge police and they want to follow some street and they need to clear it and the student can be safe to go to have a class.
Oh my goodness! So what you're saying, Sheen, is there were gunshots at MIT?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Because I have an elective course in MIT, so they send me the message and tell us.
Wow. How do you feel about that?
A little bit feel scared about that, but I think it's okay.
Why do you think it's okay? Do you have a gun?
No, I don't have a gun.
Oh, okay. So why do you feel okay about it?
Because first I live far away from MIT, and I think that if the students send the news to the student and you can avoid to that thing. So I think that is safe.
Very good. So you can avoid, right? Avoid.
Yeah.
Very good. So just be careful with those V's, Sheen. Great job. Right. Great. So SUNY, we're talking about SUNY here. SUNY post-damn dorm. Let's see here. SUNY post-damn dorm to get makeover for World University Games. Exciting stuff. What is SUNY? Does anybody know? What is SUNY?
I guess it's a university.
What kind of university? What's the acronym stand for? Does anybody know? What's the SU stand for? So, anyone? No? So it's
NY means New York, maybe.
What is it?
NY, New York. SU.
Ah, so SU New York.
In New York.
Good, right? So good.
Oh.
Go ahead.
State University.
State University. Very good, of New York. Right. So very good. If you ever see SUNY, again, this is State University of New York. You may also see something in New York called SUNY, which is the, not state, but what's smaller than a state?
City.
Very good. City University, right? So sometimes you'll see these different acronyms. So very, very good. So SUNY post-damn dorm to get makeover for World University Games. Makeover? How can a dormitory get a makeover? Any ideas?
Renovation. Some refurbishment, maybe.
Good, Rana. Good, Hassan. Right, refurbishment. Right, and to get that renovation. Two really good words: renovation and refurbish. Right. Very, very good. So we're going to talk about that right now. We'll see if you're right. So, Rana, since you spoke up, you want to help us out with this? Can you read this for me?
Sure.
Thank you.
Potsdam, New York, WWNY, a brief burst of international sport will hold long-term benefits for one SUNY Potsdam dorm. Rooms at SUNY Potsdam's Knowles Hall sit empty now, but they'll fill up with Winter World University Games hockey competitors come next January. But first, there's some work to do.
Very, very good. Right. So this is kind of what you were talking about, Rana, right? To what did you say, refurbish or something like that? So
renovation.
Renovation, right? Very good. So it's kind of talking about that, right? So why do you feel they're fixing the dormitory? So anyone, feel free to chat with us. Right. So let's see.
World Sports Games.
What is it, Hassan?
For the upcoming events.
So, but why are they fixing it? Why are they refurbishing? Why are they making better the dormitories for these games? Who cares?
So this is my assumption. Maybe the facilities outdated in this university. And second, maybe the university wants to upgrade those facility because this huge event is a good publicity for the university, maybe to recruit new students after the event.
Very, very
my guess.
Very, very good. All right, great words in there, right? This is my assumption. Maybe it's outdated. They want to upgrade it. It's good publicity. And Alex, what is publicity?
Like promotion to make people know my university.
Good. Right. Right. Very, very good. Any other ideas? Do we agree with Alex? Does anybody disagree?
Yeah, I agree with Alex. That's actually the points she made. It's amazing.
Okay, good. Why is it amazing?
Because you see the way when an international event like World Sports, it's organized in your university or institution. Then you have a chance to renovate your facilities that you provide for the students and then those who lives in the dormitory.
Good.
But continuously you're using them, so they're degrading. Some parts, some things may be broken, some facilities that are outdated, not up to the point of the current trends or fashion. So you need to change these things, to let the international students or some other participants coming from other university to see how you are coping with the current trend or latest fashion. And also this is kind of a publicity that we're a great university. We have a fascinating and beautiful beautiful dormitory. We're providing a very good facilities to our students and those who are living in the dorm.
Very nice.
I think the points you made is amazing.
Very good. Great compliment, Hassan, and great job, Alex. Right, I like that. Right. So again, Hassan, you had a lot of really good vocabulary in here too. Degrading, right? What does that mean, to degrade something? What does that mean?
Degrade means you at some point we can match it with like a depreciation or something like that. Continuously you're using some facilities that will lose its value or utility after some point, after some time.
Okay.
So
you're using a lot of really good words, Hassan, right? Like degrading, and then you define degrading with depreciation, right? So depreciation, for those of you who don't know, again, as Hassan said, it means to like lose value over time. So I don't know if it's the same in the country you live in, but in America, you should never buy a car new. It is a very bad investment, because what happens when you buy a car? Does anybody know what happens when you buy a car? Does anybody know? What happens when you buy a car?
You invest a lot of money for buying a new car.
Yeah.
So, but suddenly, right after 1 year, it will lose its value. So, because the current trend and fashion does not fit. So you have to sell it for very low price. So that's the depreciation. It loses value in a very quick time. That's why maybe Americans don't want to buy.
Absolutely. Good, Hassan. Right. You said after 1 year. You are very generous, my friend. When you drive the car away and you sign the contract, it depreciates immediately. Almost, we say 50%.
Yeah.
So if you buy that car for $20,000, right after you drive away, it's worth 10. Cars depreciate very, very quickly, right? Versus, so what's the difference between depreciation? What's the other one? So that's the negative. What is the positive form? So like if you buy a house, what is that one?
Appreciation.
Good. I appreciate you too. Right? So appreciation is the opposite, where it goes up in value. So such as houses or maybe Bitcoin, right? You're hoping stocks or other investments will appreciate over time versus what, again, Hassan is talking about, where it degrades and it depreciates its value over time. Very, very good. Great job.
I feel this
I
class
think
is going
there's
really deep.
So you think it's going
what I
deep,
think
Alex? Go ahead, Hassan.
I think there's a lot of work for that appreciation, maybe in stock market or something. So in economy, I don't know. What's it called in financial term?
We can look it up later. I'm not a financial expert. So do not take any advice. Do not invest based on what I say. Do not do any of that. Right? We're just talking about English. Very, very good. Right? So there might be another term for it. I don't know off the top of my head. But very, very good. Great words here. So let's see. So does somebody else want to help us out? Let's see. Anybody who's maybe a little bit shy? Sarah, do you want to help us read this? Oh, maybe not Sarah.
Let me try.
Sure.
The dorm's south tower has not housed students full-time in a while. Some rooms have been used for music practice, some for quarantine.
Quarantine, good.
But once athletes leave, the plan is to return rooms to their original use.
Good.
In the end, it will leave us with a building that's suitable for students' housing.
Good.
Said O'Brien. The cost of refurbishing will be covered by all the university games, room fees. Nearly 600 athletes will be housed there. Some rooms will be used as training rooms.
Very, very good, right? So nearly 600 athletes.
Athletes.
Right. So try one more, Sarah. Athlete. Very, very good. Much better. Will be housed. Very, very good. Great job. So absolutely. So lots of really interesting stuff in this paragraph. So they've used it for music practice. They've used it for quarantine. And the plan is once the athletes leave, they'll get the rooms back completely paid for. So the university will get a free upgrade basically on their dormitories. Very exciting stuff. So do you think other international events refurbish old or unused buildings, just like the SUNY University of Potsdam? Do you think this is a common practice? Is this a common practice?
I think it's a very common practice in all the university around the world. Whenever an international event is being organized in a university, you have to refurbish your old buildings and dormitories and hostels, because a lot of international phenom will come to participate in the event. So you have to show them how you're organizing the event for them, and how big and great you are to show them. Actually, this is just kind of a show off for the institution to attract the international students and other people. So yeah, it's very, very common on most of the universities around the world.
Ah, I see. So you keep saying universities, Hassan, and I'm interested. Let's see here. So you're talking about it's an opportunity for them to show off or brag or maybe even boast, right? They can boast about how great their school is. But is it just universities that do this?
Not only university, also governments, also international events, organizes some international events, and also some big organization like business companies. Okay. They have their historical buildings, so they can do this also.
Good, Hassan. Hold that idea, and I want to ask on some of the other people, right? So, what international events might refurbish or upgrade their buildings for an international event? What international event can you guys think of?
Olympic Games.
There you go. Nice, Alex. Right? So very, very good. So, Sheen or Alex, where were the Olympics this year?
You mean winter?
Beijing. Good. Right?
Yeah.
So good, Sheen, right? Beijing. Where in Beijing? Sheen, what do you think? Where in Beijing?
You mean the Winter Olympics in Beijing? What city?
Yeah.
张家口.
Ah.
Right?
I don't know.
Me too.
Yes. Yes. Part of some of the games or events were held in Zhangjiakou, which is not technically in Beijing territory. Okay. And actually, hold
on, Alex.
Okay.
Can you explain to us? Because again, I'm sure Rana, Hassan, and I are going Zhangjiakou. That's nice, but where is that? We only know like Summer Palace and Tiananmen. Where is that?
It's north to Beijing.
Ah, thank you.
It's a city in another province that is borders Beijing.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
Right. So very good. Right. So they actually did it there. Did they upgrade the city that they did it in the other province, or no?
Sorry, what's the question?
So did the Beijing government or the Chinese government, did they upgrade or refurbish the city for the event, or was it already perfect?
No, it was not perfect, at least not to that international level Olympic game standard. Chinese government actually put a lot of money to upgrade those the snow, the equipment, the facility, the amenity, and also we built a bullet train between Beijing and Zhangjiakou, if I remember correctly, which shortens the time between these two cities like 30 to 40 minutes. And part of the events happens in Beijing, like I think in the water cube.
Water cube.
It was It used to be for swimming. and the diving games. But I think we've frozen the water. We freeze the water for ice skating, speed ice skating. Speed skating. Yes.
Good. Wow, that's really interesting. Good description, Alex. Right? Explain to us. They converted it, right?
Oh yes, converted it.
They converted the water cube, I think you called it, right? They converted it from a swimming pool and a high diving facility to freeze the water and turned it into a skating rink and for what? Figure skating and speed skating, correct?
Yes.
Wonderful, right? Great job there, right? So wow, it sounds like the Chinese government did a lot of infrastructure development for this, maybe roads, hotels, restaurants, dormitories, a bullet train even. Wow, amazing. Right? So it's not just the universities, although Hassan, you gave us a great description and reasons behind why universities would love to do this. Right? Very, very good. Great job, guys. Yeah, go ahead, Hassan. Oh, maybe he's not going to say something. So, very, very good. So, do you guys feel that holding such a large event like the World University Games or the Olympics is it good or bad for a community? Why or why not? What do you guys think? Any ideas?
I think in some point, I think it's good for the community because it can let them refresh some building and they can improve their economy. And sometimes I think it needs a lot of people to do that, so that they need more money to do that. So
what do you mean by need more money?
Need more money to fresh it and need more people to do it. That's need
Okay. You're doing great, Xin. And I know it's early in the morning, right? So Xin's in Boston, so we have to give her a little bit of slack, right? But what do you need? Need more money, need more people. Can we say that better? How can we say that better? Need more money, need more people. Xiaomi, so what does that mean? So
that's investments and creates a lot of employment.
It creates employment, right?
Job opportunities.
Good. Job.
And there's more to it. Any international events, such as Olympics or World University Games or World Games or FIFA World Cup, or which is familiar around our part of the world is cricket. Cricket tournaments, international tournaments. So what that does is it gives you a lot of publicity, positive publicity, because journalists, reporters from all over the world comes there and they cover the event. While covering the event, they also cover the attractions of the city, tourist attractions. So that is positive publicity, free of cost. So a lot of countries compete for that facility to have, to brandize your country or your cities, so that more people comes to visit, which brings more money to your economy.
Sure. Right. So you're talking about branding. And I think a lot of times what people do with the Olympics, for example, is not just branding, but it's rebranding, right? So a lot of times you'll try to reshape an image of a certain location, right? So we want to show that actually, I don't know, Beijing is very fun. Come check it out. Or I know in the U.S., like cities like Atlanta, which are smaller cities compared to New York or L.A., have hosted the Olympics as well. So generally, it could be for rebranding purposes, just like you said, Rana. Very, very good. Great. So, any other thoughts on this?
I think that makes a very good impression and encourages the young people of the community to participate and engage themselves with the tourists and the foreign athletes. And this actually makes some good impression on the younger people that are part and developing partner of the society actually. So not only the economy actually, in some other aspects you see this giant events like Olympic or international games that contributes to the community and the society also. And indeed, as Mr. Rana says, that people, you allow the people from abroad to explore your country and the city and rebrand and advertise your assets and your beautiful nature to them. So not only during the event, but even after the event, they will try to come. They will be attracted to see the beauty of your country and some tourist attractions of your country.
Very good. Great, Hassan. So we're talking a lot about positivity here. So I'm curious. So again, Hassan was talking about contribution to economy, but also to the society as well, the societal development. Nobody talked about the bad thing about having all these people come. Are there no negatives, no drawbacks to hosting an international event like the World University Games or the Olympics? Or is it just, it's the perfect thing to do? Maybe it is perfect.
Good.
Go ahead, Hassan.
I think the negative
There is some bad effects.
Okay, good. So let's go with Hassan first, Sheen, and then we'll get to you, okay? Sorry.
Go ahead. Good.
So go ahead, Hassan.
Yes, I think.
Actually,
Go ahead,
sorry.
Hassan. That's okay. It's perfectly fine. Go ahead, Hassan.
Actually, maybe 2020, there was a World Cup in Brazil, right?
What is
2020. It? So we had World Cup football, FIFA World Cup in Brazil.
The World Cup.
Yeah, the World Cup in Brazil. People started protesting against the government that for this event, maybe government is investing a lot of money from their national fund, and also some negative impact on the environment and people and the community are happening. So that kind of things happens actually when you organize a big event. There would be some bad effect to allocate space for a lot of people coming to your country to offer them some good facilities in the hotels and resorts, and also gathering a lot of people in one place, traffic situation and everything, you provide them a special route for them to and ensuring their safety, security, a lot of things. So the government actually focuses on, and also the university and the institution also exclusively focuses on the event, and other works and routine works also hampers. So I think there is some bad things that for the community and also for the society when you organize a big events, but it does work for goodness or positive things that contributes to your society actually, I think. So even if it has some bad impact, but it's the good thing is worth.
Okay, good, Hassan. Sin, how do you feel? Talk to us.
I think when the community, they have the big game like Olympics, there will be a lot of people come to the city, and there maybe take some traffic problem. And also I think that after the big ceremony, it's possible. It's not possible to avoid polluting the environment and follow on the work after the ceremony. Also need a lot of resource to deal with.
Good. Well, not good. It's very sad what you said, but very well said.
Yeah.
So
And I remember in 2008 when Beijing was holding the Summer Olympic Games, that you are not allowed to drive your car every day.
Wow.
You can only drive the car either on the odd number or even number. So today is if the last digit of your license plate is odd number or even number, then you can drive today, but not tomorrow.
Right. Very, very good. Right. The last digit. Right. Digit means like number.
So it may cause it caused some inconvenience for those people who commute daily, that you have to choose different transportation means to get to work or take your children to their schools.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
And another thing, if I remember correctly, I'm not a fan of football, so I don't know the name for the championship in Europe. But sometimes those fans are very competitive or irrational. After their country's team lost the game, occasionally there was violence involved between those two teams, and sometimes there's some vandalism.
Good.
I don't know the noun for that word. Vandalism happened, like smash those windows. Thank you.
Very, very good.
So people smash the windows or the cars, like set fire on the street, which is
very
sad.
Well, yes, sad. Right. So it sounds like there's problems with public intoxication, which means being drunk, drinking alcohol in public.
Yes.
Right. Public intoxication, vandalism, and maybe even some riots. Right. Destroying stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Very, very good. Very well said. Right. Great. Sarah, did you want to say something?
Okay, I feel it's good for community. I want to take another observation.
Good.
Because social is made up of because social is made up of person. So some person ocean TV and inspire they to do inspire the passion to exercise and have a health beautiful body.
Right. So it sounds like, Sarah, society is made of people watching TV, which inspires them for their passion and maybe a healthy lifestyle. Right?
Yes.
Very, very good. Wonderful observation. Thank you. So, Sheen mentioned something about pollution. So between Sheen and Alex, let's talk a little bit about California UC Berkeley. So Alex, since you jumped the gun, can you read this for us?
Yeah, top California university may have to slash admissions after neighborhood group complains.
Why would a neighborhood complain about a university? Isn't that a good thing?
When the university admitted too many students, that could be a problem for the neighborhood. The rent probably go higher. It will be more crowded.
Okay. Well, let's see. Let's see what the reasoning for this is. Let's take a look. So, can someone help me out here? Anyone want to volunteer and read this?
The University of California, Berkeley may have to slash its new admission about 1/3 after a neighbor group in the Hilly Bay Area city challenged the environment impact of the college's expansion plan.
Very, very good, Hassan. All right. So again, kind of what Sheen alluded to earlier, the environmental impact of it, and to play off of what Alex was saying, some of those societal effects. All right. What do we think about 1/3? Is it a big number, small number? What is 1/3? Is it a big number or a small number?
For me, I think it is a big number.
Yeah.
I think also it's a big number for admission.
Absolutely. Right. And if Berkeley slashes its admissions by 1/3, how much money do you think they'll lose? Let's take a guess. I'm curious. How much money do you think UC Berkeley would lose if they slash their admissions by 1/3? How much money will they lose? Any guesses?
Millions.
Millions. Right. Let's have some fun, Hassan. How many millions? What do you think? Just put a number to it. How many millions? How many millions? Hassan?
Maybe hundreds of millions.
Hundreds of millions. Good.
For me, I guess it will be 1 billion.
1 billion. Nice. Any other guesses? 1 billion. And now wait. Alex emphasized it. I'm imagining billion with a capital B. Right. Very, very good. No other guesses? We'll take a look. And I think they'll tell us. Right. So we have hundreds of millions and we have 1 billion. So why might a community be upset about having more people around their town? Hundreds of millions. So why wouldn't we? We talked a little bit about it, but what kind of environmental problems could university students pose? What kind of problems could it pose? What issues are there? Any ideas?
I guess, students in the universities enjoy partying.
It's a good thing, right?
No, which is really loud.
Oh.
And when those kids go party, they definitely gonna drink. And when you drink, you may do something stupid.
So we go
like
back to
vandalism.
Good. Right, so we go back to public intoxication, vandalism, or sadly, in Sheen's case, maybe shootings.
Oh, shooting.
Right. Or other kinds of violence.
Yeah.
Right? Or hopefully petty crimes. Right. Petty means small. So I'm sure those are great reasons. They're very sad reasons, but they're absolutely correct. So the sound pollution, right? Sound pollution, all the at 2 a.m. It's not good. Right? What are you laughing at, Alex? You like my beat?
Not really.
Good.
Not really. So sad. Right?
If the party has that beat, I will leave.
Now you're just being mean.
But what about some serious environmental issues? Like I remember reading something about expansion plan. So they might have planned to expand their campus on a piece of land which is ecologically protected or reserved. So that would impact the ecological balance or something.
Good.
Can we take that into consideration?
You can take anything you want. This is a round table, Rana. Right? So very good. Expansion plans. So what we're talking about is what? What is an expansion plan? What's another way we can say that? Maybe
you want to construct some new buildings.
Exactly. Right.
To house more students. And that hurts people's feelings, or they think it is dangerous or deteriorating for the environment some way or other.
Good, Rana. Right. So who cares about the environment? It'll get better, right? Who cares?
There are environmental activists groups, you know.
What are they called?
Hippie.
I don't exactly remember, but there are lots. They maybe
Good.
Good.
There's the nature.
Right. So activist groups, or as Alex said, hippies. Sometimes if you want to maybe use a derogatory word, a bad word, you could call them a tree hugger, right?
Oh, interesting. I thought it was something else.
Yeah, so a tree hugger is someone who loves the environment, right? Imagine them hugging a tree. Sometimes you'll hear this word, but it means a hippie, or again, it means like an activist. So very, very good. Yeah, absolutely. So this is a great observation, Rana, and it sounds like you have maybe done a little bit of research on this already. So
no, not. I haven't Googled it.
You didn't?
No.
Wow.
No. But this comes, into your mind when you read something, and since we are so, in danger or faced with so many challenges environmentally, global warming and stuff, climate change. So I think a green activist group, who protests any sort of harmful impact of urbanization on the environment, they could protest, and ask you not to expand.
Very good. Wow, maybe your brain works faster than mine.
Oh no, I was actually, you know that I'm preparing for IELTS, and during our preparation, we have to read about a lot of topics for essay writing.
Absolutely.
So this is kind of in that territory, so that is why I think I have some information.
Well, either way, it's a spot-on analogy. Great job. So let's find out more about this. Like, what has happened to this? Like, can someone help me? Is it going to be Alex or is it going to be Hassan?
I like her reading. She's very good. So let her read it, please.
Okay, you want to read it, Hassan? Or did you say let Alex read it?
Yeah, I want Alex to read it.
Okay. Alex, yes, you have a good pronunciation. So
I will take the floor. Thank you. The university is asking California's Supreme Court to intervene after the local group called Save Berkeley's Neighborhoods successfully argued the university was violating a major environmental law by failing to account for increases in the trash, traffic, and noise that increased enrollment and new construction would bring. As a result, the university will have to send out 5,100 fewer admission letters than planned next month, and forego $57 million in tuition fees over the 2022 to 2023 academic year.
Very, very good. Hassan, you're absolutely right. Our pronunciation is very good. Right? Thank you for sacrificing that. So Hassan, since you were so generous...
But Hassan was correct about the money.
Well, that's what we're going to get to.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Hassan? 57 million in tuition fees.
It's a big money. It's a great deal of money.
Yeah. So how do you think the university feels? What kind of impact is that going to have?
That feels awful, I think. That feels awful.
Devastated.
Absolutely.
Yeah, devastated.
And likewise, what about the students? 5,100 will not receive an offer this year. 5,100 fewer.
Wow, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah. It's really challenging because maybe one of those 5,100 could have solved pollution. Ironic.
Oh, that's a great idea, actually.
So how funny would it be for Save Berkeley's Neighborhoods if that one person they rejected was going to solve all their problems?
Well, you're a lawyer, to defend your ideas.
But if there are less students, maybe there's no pollution. Maybe there's no environmental to problem to be solved.
Perhaps.
You need more students to solve this. The problem is if this problem doesn't exist. Oh, I'm pretty smart today.
That's an
pretty Chinese today, because Chinese people say there's no pollution.
So again, that's a really interesting ideology, especially with the idea of the butterfly effect, right? Where a butterfly flaps its wings in Brazil, and yet there's a tornado in the United States because of that butterfly. So it's a really interesting kind of concept. And this is why sometimes you guys will hear me say I work with university students, and I feel very, very proud to do that, because even one student could have a major implication to fix the world in some way, right? So who knows? 5,100 is a lot of students to lose that opportunity at Berkeley. So do you think the complaint deserved legal intervention, or was this extreme? Do you think the activist group should have gone to the Supreme Court, or could it have been resolved kind of locally? What do we think?
I think this is an extreme, complaint. Actually, this is not allowing this 5,100 student to a university that they dreamed of. So that could have a greater impact, not only even a state level or the community. It could be a global impact. One student could make a difference, a big difference. So I think the university actually directly shouldn't have gone to slang that's 1,500 students. They should have gone to the court or hired an attorney to defend themselves.
Well, that's what the university is trying to do, is they're trying to prevent them from having to reject 5,100 students. But the activists, or as we talked, or Alex said, the hippies, the tree huggers, right? They went to the court to really push this issue to a higher power. And not unfortunately, it's a good thing that they're winning the pollution battle. But maybe like what you're saying, Hassan, there's a better happy medium where the students can still come, maybe 2,000 students versus 1,500, right? Any other kind of ideas? Sheen, what do you think? Right, you're studying in the United States currently, and you see what it's like to live on or around campus. I mean, what do you think if 1/3 of your school disappeared? How would that feel?
Well, actually, my school is too small. I think if 1/3 it disappear, we do have the space to study, and I think that it depends. Maybe that is good for university. There can save some resource, and I think that's a bit little not fair for the student. Yeah.
Okay. Why wouldn't it be fair for the students? Explain that in more detail.
I think students, when they want to go to the university, they need lots of resources to help them to study. And I also think, the student, they starting the university, they want to have a good environment. If the school will, some faster, some disappear. I think for the student, if they feel so weird and not have a good experience.
So they won't have a good experience. It sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like you're saying that reduced tuition will cause less facilities to be available for students. Right?
Yeah, sure.
And as I think it was Hassan or Rana, potentially degrading the experience the student will have on campus.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Good. You can do it, Sheen. Dial. Right? Very, very good. Anybody else? Any other comments on this? No? Do you guys really think that having so many people on campus could really impact the environment? I mean, surely it couldn't be that bad, could it? One person can't make a difference, right, Hassan? It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Yeah, that's the big deal.
Talk to me. What do you mean?
You see, this 5,100 student was denied to get admission to Berkeley. So among these 5,100, one could have been an Einstein, and Jagadish Chandra Bose. So that's what I mean. Actually, you should not stop the process. You should not stop the current process of studying. Students studying in a higher education. So you are actually blocking the way. You're blocking the stairs of a student to go up higher up and contribute to the community. So that's what I mean. Actually, one student is could be Albert Einstein.
Okay.
So
it sounds like it's a travesty to strip all of these brilliant students away from an opportunity because the contribution over time would be far greater than the short-term impact. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question.
Good, Alex, go ahead.
To solve this environmental problems, do you have to go to UC Berkeley? Is the UC Berkeley the only university can teach those students how to solve the problem, how to invent new technologies, etc.? There are so many prestigious universities. Why UC Berkeley?
I don't know. Does anybody have a comment on that?
One thing, Alex, is for sure that there is going to be 5,100 less places for higher education. Okay, prestigious or not. So that's 5,100 reduced numbers of undergraduates pursuing higher education.
Good.
So that is one impact. And on the topic of how does it truly violate environmental law? It sure does. It takes a toll on the environment. Those huge numbers, 5,100 more people who comes to study and more people to support them, to provide for their food, housing and everything. So if all things were taken into consideration, there should have been an environmental survey taking into consideration what are the negative impacts this expansion is going to have on the environment. And had they been consulting with the local, groups, the activist groups or residents about the issues, and they could have mutually solved it, mitigated it, then I feel that, the residents wouldn't have gone to the court if the issue had been mitigated. So there's one thing we can question about UC Berkeley's stand on the issue. Had they tried to solve the issues at home, they wouldn't have needed to go to the court. So we should take that into consideration.
Wow. So how do you feel about that, Alex? He took your prestigious statement and kind of turned it around.
No. I think that's the beauty of this class. That for you can always hear different perspectives, because what you know is limited, but from you can always learn from other people. The idea that Rana proposed is really that I never thought about. Thank you.
Right. And as Rana mentioned earlier, he's studying for IELTS at the moment. What we can do on the speaking portion of the test is we can turn it around, right? And again, unlike the writing aspect of IELTS, the speaking aspect does not have to answer the question directly. So, Rana, you could mention, right? Some people may argue that these 5,100 could just go to another prestigious university. However, ... and then you give your argument. So you can certainly take some of the ideas, even though you may or may not agree with the people in this class. You can still use their answer. You can steal it and use it on IELTS, and then use that as your introduction to argue a point, right? So it's a wonderful way to help everyone brainstorm for IELTS. And likewise, if you're not studying IELTS, you're studying TOEFL. The TOEFL exam talks all about campus activities, and that's what we talk about is campus activities. So either way, no matter what test you're using, you guys are helping each other brainstorm brilliant answers. Wonderful. Right? So any other points before we move on? No? Okay. Right. Now, we don't have much time left to go through this, but again, basically, at the end of it, they're just talking about how, again, they brought it back to a judge for a second time, and the judge ruled against the UC Berkeley, and basically they will be limiting their enrollment this year, which is a bit sad, right? And we talked a lot about today kind of different universities and what kind of impact, the short-term impact. So these are some screenshots from, I think it's the Olympics in Brazil or Rio de Janeiro, I forget off the top of my head. But we can see in the moment, it's quite exciting, right? The pool here in 2016 is really blue and beautiful, right? The soccer pitch is illuminated and lively, but then just a year later, it's kind of dead and dilapidated, derelict even. And we're having this argument with students. We have to remember that just like with the Olympics and just like with other sporting events, university life is short term. So basically for these communities, what happens sometimes is these students will come in for 32 weeks out of the year, 16 weeks a semester, right? And they'll just wreak havoc, as Alex mentioned, public intoxication, partying with bad music, nonetheless, right? And then they just go away, and the community is still left there, just like here in these top photos, trying to rebuild the community. And finally, they'll maybe revitalize the community. And what happens? Well, the students now come back for another semester. So it's this constant like balance where the community is trying to combat the burst of energy that these young people have. So maybe it does have a tremendous environmental impact, but again, we won't know. We don't live on a university campus, right? So tonight we did a lot of different things. We collaborated with each other. We talked about topics for university life and campus life, which was great for TOEFL. As Rana pointed out, there's a lot of great ideas here that we could throw back into IELTS. We did a lot of recalling and referencing, as well as practicing questions. So do you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, points, anything you want to talk about before we wrap up? What do we think? Any finishing points? Go ahead, Hassan.
Today's session was really a wonderful session, actually. There's so many new terms we learned from that session, and also so many useful vocabulary we have learned. So that's a really good Roundtable.
You're always so flattering, Hassan.
One question, actually.
Sure.
This is once a week, right? So can you make twice a week?
Do you want to pay money?
Ready, yeah.
If you pay, maybe twice a week. Right?
No problem, I'll pay.
Right. So we actually do twice a week, but not the Roundtable. So we do a lower level class earlier in the week, which goes at a slower pace, where we drill on vocabulary, pronunciation, and so forth. But we do once a week this higher level where you guys help each other, because again, you guys are brilliant, far more than I could ever come up with vocabulary for certain environmental practices and so forth. Rana, Hassan, Alex, Sheen, Sarah, you guys have used such great vocabulary that I would never think to put into this lesson. So I appreciate you guys being a part of the lesson material and helping your peers learn better. So thank you so much for being a part of this. And Hassan, I'll think about maybe a second one.
Please.
Very, very good.
Thanks to you, Derek.
No. It's your effort that makes this possible. Thank you, Hassan. Thank you, Rana. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Sheen. Thank you, Sarah. Right. So